With Ahsoka recently making her live-action debut in The Mandalorian and the season final airing this week, I thought now would be the perfect time to show you how I built Ahsoka's lightsabers. I'm going to start off by thickening the tube which I'll be using as the base for her lightsabers, wrapping cut cardboard tubes around it until it has a thickness of around 1.5 inches. Before neatening it up with a few sheets of paper. Then I just repeated the process on another tube for her second slightly smaller lightsaber. I cut off the end of the larger tube to make it 10 inches long. Sanded off the rough edges. And cut down the smaller tube to 8 inches, which left me with the base for our two lightsabers. For the unique slits that run down the sides of Ahsoka's lightsabers, I used a pencil and a ruler to mark out 3/4 of the way down on each handle. Rolled it over and repeated on the other side, drew a centimetre wide channel up the length of the hilt, drew a slightly rounded point at the bottom of each, and then it was just a case of very carefully using a scalpel to cut out the 2 slits on each lightsaber. Making sure to glue down any edges that come loose, before using reference images to sketch out the opening at the top of the hilt to create the emitter, and when I was happy, once again cutting out and repeating on both sides. For the pommels at the end of each blade I used 2 slightly different methods. For the larger blade I used the cap of an old bottle, a scrunched up sheet of tin foil, and some cooking clay, but you can use air drying clay or anything that sets hard. I wrapped the foil in clay and shaped it to round off the end of the pommel. I checked that everything fit, before turning my attention to the smaller pommel. This time I used a slightly smaller ball of foil and clay, and I shaped the entire pommel rather than just the rounded end. And when I was happy with the shape of both, I cooked them until hard following packet instructions. Then it was just a simple case of attaching each one to their hilts. And with that, the main body of both our lightsabers is complete. Now we can focus on building the detail. For the 2 rectangular pieces that sit either side of the top of the larger lightsaber, I cut 2-inch long rectangles of card, and then rounded off one end of each. For the little piece they stand on, I measured out a piece of card that was slightly larger and cut it out. Leaving me with 4 pieces like this. Then I attached one piece to either side of the emitter on the larger blade, and secured the rectangular pieces on top using hot glue, which should leave you with something like this. To make the activation switch, I drew and cut out 2 2-inch by 1-inch pieces of card, and stacked them on top of one another to create one thick piece. Then I traced around it onto a thinner piece of card, cut it out, and using reference images drew out the ladder pattern that appears on Ahsoka's activation switch, before cutting it out and gluing in place. The next thing I needed to do was to make the little circles under the emitter. And then using a cardboard tube, cut it out to 2 inches tall, and wrapped it around the base of the hilt to give it some shape and thickness. Then all that was left to do was to carefully use a hot glue gun to make the remaining buttons and switches, and stack up little cardboard squares to run around the pommel. Then with both the sabres finally complete, I gave them a quick spray with some chrome silver metallic paint, and then rolled up and slid in some black cardboard to fill in the gaps. Then at long last we can finally begin painting, and using little scraps and bottle caps to add the finishing touches. If you'd like to see a video where I make Ahsoka's lightsabers from Rebels or the Mandalorian, let me know down in the comments, along with any other lightsabers you'd like to see or any other prop or model suggestions you have. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think, or if you end up making these for yourself down in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, check out my models and props playlist for more projects and crafts just like this. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, it really would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.